And then I want to tell you what's new in 2019 and new in 2020, because as a result of the work we did here with Economic War Room, the bad guys have realized they've got to change the game, and they have changed the game in 2019 and 2020.
Let's get to that update.
Okay, so it goes from the voter and the vote to the county, and then the county uploads vote to something called Clarity Elections, for the most part, if ES&S happens to be the private company, and they're 60% of the marketplace, by the way. And the Clarity Elections database is wide open and hackable, and they store it on Amazon Cloud, which is wide open and hackable. So it's a terrible thing. Okay. And that's just one.
And it's not that Amazon, by the way, is hackable. It's just the way they've configured it and set it up. It's just like put on top of the mat, if I remember. They've just
Correct.
said they've not chosen to install any of the security software at one or more levels.
Well, and Amazon has configured it where it has what's called S3 bucket vulnerabilities. And that is a way that hackers easily go in and can access data and change it and upload it in any way.
And they should know better.
They should know better.
Okay.
They should know better. So it's, we mentioned ES&S. They're the ones that do Dallas, and that's what we first got looking at. But we also looked at 10X and Dominion and Hart and Demtech, and they all had the same problem. The software all comes originally from a Venezuelan company called SGO Smartmatic that's actually run by a George Soros operative. And these software companies that are conducting our elections, they all upload everything via the internet to a company called Seidel. And Seidel has several databases. One's called Clarity, one's called Democracy Suite, one's called Precinct Central. So they've got all kinds of names, but they're all going to Seidel. And Seidel is a Barcelona, Spain multinational company. They're housing all of our votes, and they're doing it in an insecure fashion.
Can we back up to the George Soros thing? Because all over the internet there's debunking. Oh no, Soros doesn't own the election systems. What you're telling me is that you've identified an individual who is a known connection to George Soros that is running that particular company?
Absolutely. He started out with the UN, and when he was ever at the UN meetings in New York, he rented an apartment from George Soros at $7,000 a month. He became the vice chairman of Soros's investment fund. He became the vice president of Soros's quantum fund. He's on the board of Open Society.
He's pretty connected, and this guy for certain is running this particular company.
He is the chairman of SGO Smartmatic, where all the software originally started out.
Okay, so that's a red flag there. Keep going.
And it's a known fact.
Okay.
Okay. So that's sort of the way it works. There's SGO Smartmatic, and then there's Seidel. Seidel has all these databases, and then there's all these private voting companies, and they all upload everything to Seidel. So
and nothing we've mentioned is American-owned. This is Barcelona, Spain. It started in Venezuela.
And SGO Smartmatic is headquartered in London.
Okay.
Okay. And by the way, the U.S. State Department says they can't figure out who owns SGO Smartmatic, because the ownership is held in foundations and offshore trusts and all over the planet.
Lacking transparency.
None. There is no transparency.
If there's any private company involved in our elections, it has to be transparent, and this is not.